Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Chem Origin. This is Dr. Satish Kumar. Students, in our previous videos, we discussed about the theories which are trying to explain the formation of a coordination compounds or formation of a complex compound. In those theories, we already discussed Werner's theory. What are the postulates of Werner's theory with examples? Similarly, there were some limitations in Werner's theory. So, we already discussed the limitations of Werner's theory in our previous videos. Similarly, students, we also discussed another theory which is also trying to explain the formation of complex compound. The theory is Sidgwick theory. Sidgwick theory. There also we discuss detailedly about the Sidgwick theory. Students, in this present video module, we discuss another theory which is also try to explain the formation of complex compound. Which is also try to explain the formation of complex compound. The theory is valency bond theory. Valency bond theory. So students, like Werner's theory and Sidgwick theory, valency bond theory is also try to explain the formation of complex compounds. So students, in this video module, we discuss the postulates of valency bond theory and also drawbacks of valency bond theory with suitable examples we can discuss detailedly in the present video module. Students, now let us start our class. Students, valency bond theory was developed by Pauling. Valency bond theory was developed by the scientist Pauling. Students, valency bond theory mainly explains the bonding, shape and magnetic properties of complex compounds. So students, valency bond theory mainly try to explain the bonding, shape and magnetic properties of complex compounds. So students, what are the postulates of valency bond theory which try to explain the bonding, shape and magnetic properties of complex compounds? We can see detailedly one by one. Students, the first postulate. Students, according to valency bond theory, the central metal atom or ion makes available the necessary number of vacant orbitals which is suitable to its coordination number. Students, the central metal atom or ion makes available the necessary number of vacant orbitals suitable to its coordination number, and these orbitals are hybridized together. Students, these orbitals are hybridized together depending on the structure and shape of hybrid orbitals. So students, the orbitals are hybridized together which is depends upon the structure and shape of hybrid orbitals. This is the first postulate of valency bond theory. Next, the ligands must have at least one lone pair of electrons. So students, the ligands must have at least one lone pair of electrons according to valency bond theory. This is second postulate. Students, the third postulate is the non-bonding metal electrons. The non-bonding metal electrons occupy the inner d orbital which do not involve in the hybridization. So students, according to valency bond theory, the non-bonding metal electrons occupy the inner d orbitals which are do not involve in the hybridization. Next postulate. If a complex contains unpaired electrons, students, if a complex contains a unpaired electrons, then the complex nature is paramagnetic. Then the complex nature is paramagnetic. Suppose students, if the complex does not contain unpaired electrons, then the nature of the complex is diamagnetic. So students, if a complex contains unpaired electrons, its nature is paramagnetic. Suppose if the complex does not contain unpaired electrons, its nature is diamagnetic. Paramagnetic, diamagnetic. So students, valency bond theory try to explain the magnetic properties of complex compounds. Next postulate, the postulate number 5, the number of unpaired electrons. The number of unpaired electrons in complex may indicate the geometry of the complex or shape of the complex. So students, the number of unpaired electrons, the number of unpaired electrons in the complex may indicate the geometry or shape of the complex. Next postulate, from the number of unpaired electrons, from the number of unpaired electrons in the complex, the extent of paramagnetism can be calculated. So students, from the number of unpaired electrons in the complex, the extent of paramagnetism can be calculated. So students, based on these postulates, Pauling, based on the valency bond theory, he tried to explain the formation of complex compound, that is the bond and structure and magnetic properties of the complex compounds. Students, based on the valency bond theory, we can explain the formation of complex compounds. The formation of complex compounds we can explain with the help of valency bond theory. Now, let us see one example. Students, NiCl4 2 minus, the complex compound NiCl4 2 minus formation is explained with the help of valency bond theory. Students, in this complex, the central metal atom in the given complex is the central metal atom. The central metal atom in the given complex is nickel. Nickel is the central metal atom in the given complex. Students, we know that the atomic number of the nickel, we know that atomic number of nickel is 28. 28 is the atomic number of the nickel. Students, the electronic configuration or the ground state electronic configuration, the ground state electronic configuration, the ground state electronic configuration of the element nickel is the ground state electronic configuration. The ground state electronic configuration of the element nickel is argon 4s2 3d8. Argon 4s2 3d8 is the ground state electronic configuration of the nickel. Argon 4s2 3d8. Argon 4s2 3d8. Students, in the given complex, if you observe the oxidation state of the central metal nickel in the given complex is, so the oxidation state of the nickel in the given complex is +2. The oxidation state of the central metal nickel in the given complex is +2. Therefore, students, the electronic configuration of the Ni2 plus ion, the electronic configuration of the Ni2 plus ion, the electronic configuration of the nickel plus 2 ion or nickel 2 plus ion, the electronic configuration of the nickel 2 plus ion is becomes argon 3d8 4s0. Argon 3d8 4s0 is the electronic configuration of nickel 2 plus ion. Students, if you observe the 3d8, if you observe the valency configuration, that is 3d8 4s0 and after 4s orbital there was a 4p orbital, 4p0. So for nickel 2 plus ion the configuration is 3d8, 4s0 and 4p0. Students, in the third energy level we know that in the third energy level there are 5d orbitals. There are 5d orbitals are present in the third energy level. Similarly students, in the fourth energy level 1 4s orbital, 3 4p orbitals are present. So 1 4s orbital, 3 4p orbitals and 5 3d orbitals are present. So students, in the 3d orbital there are 8 electrons are present in the nickel 2 plus ion. Students, in the nickel 2 plus ion there are, in the nickel 2 plus ion 8 electrons are present. 8 electrons are present in the 3d orbital of the nickel. So students, here 5d orbitals are present in the third energy level. So in the third energy level there are 5d orbitals. 5d orbitals are present in the 3d level. So students, if you filled the electrons in the 3d orbital 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6 pairing, 7 and 8. So students, the electronic configuration of nickel 2 plus ion is argon 3d8 4s0. So in the valency shell what happens students? 3d8. So there are 8 electrons in the 3d energy level and there are no electrons in the 4s orbit and 4p orbital. So students, here what happened? 1 4s orbital, 1 4s orbital and 3 4p orbitals are intermixed together, forms a 4sp3 hybrid orbital. Students, 1 4s orbital and 3 4p orbitals intermixed together to form a 4sp3 hybrid orbitals. 4sp3 hybrid orbitals. The formed 4sp3 hybrid orbitals can form a coordinate bond. Coordinate bond with the 4 chlorine atoms can form the NiCl4 2 minus complex. So these 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals can form a coordinate covalent bond with the 4 chlorine atoms for the formation of NiCl4 2 minus. Students, therefore the hybridization, therefore according to valency bond theory, the hybridization of the central metal, the central metal nickel is sp3. sp3 is the hybridization of the nickel in the given complex. So students, whenever the sp3 hybridization, the geometry or the shape of the complex, therefore the geometry or shape of the complex is tetrahedral. Tetrahedron. So the geometry or you can say shape, the geometry or shape of the complex, the geometry or the shape of the complex is tetrahedron geometry. Tetrahedral geometry or tetrahedral shape or tetrahedron geometry. Students, in the 3d8 there are 2 unpaired electrons. So students, in the NiCl4 2 minus complex, there are 2 unpaired electrons in the valency shell. So students, due to presence of these unpaired electrons, the magnetic nature of the given complex is paramagnetic. So students, the number of unpaired electrons in the given complex is the number of unpaired electrons in the NiCl4 2 minus is 2. Therefore the magnetic nature of the complex is paramagnetic due to presence of unpaired electrons. Therefore the magnetic nature the magnetic nature of the given complex is paramagnetic. Paramagnetic due to presence of unpaired electrons. Due to presence of unpaired electrons, the magnetic nature is paramagnetic. Paramagnetic nature of the complex compound. So students, in this way we can explain the formation of a complex compound with the help of valency bond theory. Dear students, we can see one more example for the formation of complex compound based on the valency bond theory. Based on the valency bond theory, the formation of complex compound we can explain. The second example, if you take NiCN4 2 minus, students, if you take NiCN4 2 minus, NiCN4 2 minus. In this complex, how we can explain the formation of this complex with the help of valency bond theory. Students, in this complex, the central metal atom is nickel. We know the atomic number of nickel is 28 and the ground state electronic configuration of nickel is argon 3d8 4s2. Students, in the given complex, the oxidation state of the nickel is +2. Therefore, the electronic configuration of Ni2 plus ion, nickel 2 plus ion is argon 3d8 4s0. 3d8 4s0 is the electronic configuration of the nickel 2 plus ion. Students, so the electron distribution in the 3d8 and 4s is like this: 3d8 4s0 4p0. But students, here what happened, in presence of the Cn ligand, due to the presence of Cn ligand in this complex, the pairing of electrons takes place in the 3d orbital. So in the 3d orbital, the pairing of electrons takes place. Students, in this complex, there are 4 Cn ligands can form a coordinate bond with the central metal. So students, here what happened? One 3d orbital is available, one 4s orbital and two 4p orbitals. One 3d, one 4s, two 4p orbitals intermixed together to form a 4dsp2 hybrid orbitals. Students, one 3d, one 4s and two 4p orbitals intermixed together and form 4dsp2 hybrid orbitals. dsp2 hybrid orbitals. dsp2 hybrid orbitals. So these 4 dsp2 hybrid orbitals can form a coordinate bond with the 4 Cn ligands. Therefore, the hybridization of nickel in this complex is dsp2. dsp2. So the hybridization is changed as a dsp2 and the shape or the geometry of the complex is square planar. So the shape of the complex is square planar. Square planar is the geometry of the or shape of the NiCN4 2 minus. Students, here the number of unpaired electrons is 0. The number of unpaired electrons is 0 and the magnetic nature, the number of unpaired electrons is 0. The magnetic nature of the complex is diamagnetic. Diamagnetic complex. So students, it is a diamagnetic complex. So hybridization is dsp2 in NiCN4 2 minus. The shape of the complex is square planar. The number of unpaired electrons is 0 and the magnetic nature is diamagnetic. So NiCN4 2 minus complex. Dear students, we take one more example for the formation of complex compound with the help of valency bond theory. The explanation for the formation of complex compound with the help of valency bond theory, we see another example. Example 3. Example number 3. So students, if you take FeCN6 4 minus, this is the complex. So the formation of FeCN6 4 minus can be explained with the help of valency bond theory. Students, in this example, the central metal atom is iron. Iron is the central metal atom in the given complex. We know that the atomic number of the iron is 26. 26 is the atomic number of the iron, and the ground state electronic configuration of iron is argon 4s2 3d6. Argon 4s2 3d6 is the electronic configuration of the element iron. Students, in the given complex, the oxidation state of iron is +2. So the electronic configuration of the Fe2 plus ion is argon 3d6 4s0. Argon 3d6 4s0. So students, in the 3d orbital, 6 electrons are present in the 3d orbital. So 1 2 3 4 and 5 6. So we can distribute the electrons in the 3d orbital. The 6 electrons in the 3d orbital we can distribute like this. But students, here in this complex, the ligand is Cn. In this complex, the ligand is Cn. So pairing of electrons takes place. So what happens, students? The pairing of electrons takes place. So like this, the pairing of electrons takes place. So the 6 electrons in the 3d orbital is paired like this. Now students, in this complex, 6 Cn ligands can form a coordinate bond with the central iron atom. Therefore central iron metal. Therefore students, for formation of this complex, 2 3d orbitals, 1 4s orbital and 3 4p orbitals are intermixed together. 2 3d, 1 4s and 3 4p orbitals are intermixed together to form a 6 d2sp3 hybrid orbitals. 2d orbitals, 1 s orbital and 3 p orbitals. Therefore 6 d2sp3 hybrid orbitals are formed. These 6 d2sp3 hybrid orbitals can form a coordinate bond with the 6 Cn ligands. Therefore the hybridization of the central metal iron in this complex is d2sp3. The hybridization is d2sp3 and the geometry of the complex or the shape of the complex is octahedral shape or octahedral geometry for the given complex FeCN6 4-. So students, in this complex, the number of unpaired electrons is 0. The number of unpaired electrons are 0 in the given complex. Therefore the magnetic nature is diamagnetic. Therefore students, the complex FeCN6 4- is a octahedral geometry and a diamagnetic nature. Dear students, we can take one more example to explain the formation of complex compounds with the help of valency bond theory. With the help of valency bond theory, we can explain the formation of complex compound. For example, students, if you take, this is the example for COH2O6 2 plus, COH2O6 2 plus, COH2O6 2 plus complex formation we can explain with the help of valency bond theory. So students, in this complex, the central metal atom is cobalt. Cobalt is the central metal atom present in the given complex. Students, we know that the atomic number of cobalt is 27. 27 is the atomic number of cobalt, and the ground state electronic configuration The ground state electronic configuration of the cobalt is argon 4s2 3d7. Argon 4s2 3d7 is the electronic configuration of element cobalt. Students, we know the oxidation state. The oxidation state of the cobalt in the given complex is +2. +2 is the oxidation state of the central metal cobalt in the given complex. The electronic configuration, therefore, the electronic configuration of the cobalt 2 plus ion is argon 3d7 4s0. Argon 3d7 4s0. Here the ligand is H2O. So students, in this case the ligand is H2O. Here in this example, H2O ligand, there are 6 H2O ligands can form a coordinate bond with the central metal cobalt. So students, the distribution of 7 electrons in the 5 3D orbitals is like this. So here the electronic configuration, the outermost electronic configuration of CO2 plus ion is 3d7. So the 7 electrons can be distributed in 5d orbitals like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So students, in presence of H2O, the electrons, the unpaired electrons present in the 3d orbital are not paired. So what happened, students? One 4s orbital, 3 4p orbitals, one 4s orbital, 3 4p orbitals, and two 4d orbitals are involved in hybridization or intermixed with each other can form 6sp3 d2 hybrid orbitals. So students, what happened in the case of cobalt COH2O6 2 plus case, one 4s orbital, 3 4p orbitals, and two 4d orbitals are involved in the hybridization. Therefore, the hybridization is sp3d2. sp3d2 is the hybridization of the cobalt in the given complex. Therefore, students, one 4s orbital, 3 4p orbitals, and two 4d orbitals are intermixed together can form 6 sp3d2 hybrid orbitals. 6 sp3d2 hybrid orbitals are formed. 6 sp3d2 hybrid orbitals are formed. These 6 sp3d2 hybrid orbitals can form a coordinate bond with the 6 H2O ligands, and finally it can form a COH2O6 2 plus complex compound. So students, the hybridization of the cobalt in the given complex is sp3d2. sp3d2 is the hybridization of the cobalt in the given complex, and the geometry or the shape of the complex is octahedral geometry, and the number of unpaired electrons in the given complex is 3. The number of unpaired electrons in the given complex is 3. So in the 3d orbital there are 3 unpaired electrons. Due to presence of unpaired electrons, the magnetic nature of this complex is paramagnetic. So it is a paramagnetic compound, paramagnetic nature. Therefore, the complex compound COH2O6 plus, the complex compound COH2O6 plus is a paramagnetic nature compound. The geometry of the complex is octahedral. The hybridization of the central metal cobalt is sp3d2. So students, in this way we can explain the formation of complex compounds with the help of valency bond theory. So students, there are some drawbacks. There are some drawbacks for valency bond theory. So what are the drawbacks for valency bond theory? We can see. Students, the valency bond theory is a qualitative approach to explain the bonding in coordination compounds. So the bonding in coordination compounds is explained by valency bond theory is only a qualitative approach. A qualitative approach. This is the one of the drawback of valency bond theory. Valency bond theory. Students, the second drawback. This theory failed to explain the finer aspects. This theory failed to explain the finer aspects of magnetic properties. Finer aspects of magnetic properties of coordination compounds. So the finer aspects of magnetic properties of a coordination compounds is not explained by valency bond theory. Students, another drawback. The another drawback for valency bond theory is this theory cannot provide or does not explain for the formation of color to the complex ion. The complex ions have a colors. So the characteristic colors of the complex ions cannot be explained. The valency bond theory. This is the another drawback for valency bond theory. Students, this theory cannot explain why CONH363 plus complex is an inner orbital complex, whereas COF63 minus is an outer orbital complex. Even though these two complexes having the same central metal cobalt, CONH363 plus COF63 minus. Here the central metal atom is cobalt, but CONH363 plus is an inner orbital complex, whereas a COF63 minus is an outer orbital complex. So this theory cannot explain why it is an inner orbital complex, why COF63 minus is an outer orbital complex. So students, these are the drawbacks of valency bond theory. Okay students, I hope you enjoyed this session. Students, in this video module, we discuss the postulates of valency bond theory and explanation of the formation of complex compounds with the help of valency bond theory, and what are the drawbacks in the valency bond theory we can detailedly discuss it. Thank you. Thank you very much.